While Beastmen are absolutely one of the strongest factions in the game, they do also have what I would consider to be one of the worst infantry units in the game in bestigor. Basically, I mean, bestigor look like they have some redeeming qualities on paper, right? 35 charge bonus is definitely excellent. They've got decent armor-piercing weapon strength. Not the best melee defense, but certainly when you compare to something like Black Orcs, they don't look too bad. They've got a decent amount of HP, about 100 per model. Nice and even math to figure that out, but yeah, like, they should be decent, but their leadership and their low melee defense means they often just struggle for being able to output damage. They often take damage quite quickly, and that little bit of less HP, less armor they have versus something like, say, Black Orcs does mean they just take damage a lot quicker and tend to die a lot quicker and struggle to be effective. But let's see how they do against Rider Rohan's Phoenix Guard here. He's got 3 of them, and critically in this matchup, this expert charge defense doesn't usually matter that much, but Beastmen are a faction that across the board has good charge bonus even on their infantry, especially something like bestigors, right? So that expert charge bonus does help. Also got some spearmen, Lothern Sea Guard with shields, 5 of them, or sorry, 3 with shields, 2 without. Some silver helms and a prince on a sun dragon, very interesting choice for Rider Rohan there. I'm sure he's got a caster mixed in somewhere, probably Lore of Life, yep. As for the Beastman player here, we've got a Beast Lord, Wargor, and Brave Shaman all on chariots. The 2 bestigor herds, lots of centaurs as well. Tzeentch, regular centaurs, all mixed together out on the flanks with the Ungor Spearman herd, acting as the meat shields up front. So let's see how the bestigor can do here. Elves going to stand firm in their staunch line of spears. As Rider Rohan attempts to defend. The Sun Dragon's okay. The Prince, at the very least, does get 80 armor on it, 50 attack, 44 defense, only 460 weapon strength, which, you know, anything below 500, it's okay, but it's not great, to be honest, especially on ultra HP pools. But Beastmen aggressively pushing up and around the flank here. These Silver Helms are definitely going to be in deep trouble against massive amounts of centaurs, but Rider Rohan going to bravely try and get some value here on these unbraced Ungor Spearman herd. Dragon tries to charge the single entity blob with chariots, but that's going to be a bad idea. But yeah, beautiful rear charge opportunity by those Centaurs of Tzeentch. It's going to be a brutal attack there and just absolutely murk those Silver Helms, although we do see a nice breath attack here going down on 1 unit of bestigors, which, you know, it wasn't necessarily the bestigors that came in here and did those Phoenix Guards so dirty. They did actually get a regrowth, maybe managed to salvage like half their unit models here. Let's see. We do have, Traderkin as well being topped off on that, so, yeah. But you can already see here the bestigor herd down almost to half HP, and their leadership is suffering pretty badly. That immunopsychology, of course, drops once Primal Fury is no longer active, and they just tear out, which is, yeah, Beastmen's weakness. One of their weaknesses, definitely leadership. Bestigor falls severely into that category, but so far, Lothern Sea Guard staying somewhat defended against those Centaurs, trying to fire back and kill as many models as possible with their ranged attacks. The Phoenix Guard also holding. The one did manage to survive that brutal attack there, and yeah, salvage quite a bit of HP left. There's still less than half their unit models, but something. Definitely, considering their leadership and anti-large and everything else. Armor should be able to hold out quite well here. But the Centaurs are really what is going to be dangerous here. Beast Lord himself is taking quite a bit of damage, as has the Wargor. The Brave Shaman also could be a pretty important priority target for Rider Rohan here, just given how dangerous Traderkin is as a spell. Even to infantry units can do a lot of damage. Nice breath attack there on those Centaurs. And the Ungor Spearman herd, the Centaurs pull away before the dragon can follow up on a charge. Try and tear out them, but he does charge in to the Brave Shaman. Potentially could get rear charged by these 2 chariots here, but does manage to tear out away the Brave Shaman. Not before he gets off one more Traderkin, though. Might actually finish off this Mage of Life here, which would be super painful. Probably a bit of Winds of Magic left. Yeah, looks like her leadership is going to falter. So both casters kind of getting nuked there. Lothern Sea Guard trying to survive in the back line, but definitely getting swarmed by massive amounts of Centaurs, more than what they can handle. And the Centaurs here, definitely dangerous. Getting those unbraced Phoenix Guard, gonna be tough. Phoenix Guard in general, though, are likewise going to be tough opponents. Let's see, the Centaurs in the late game will be able to cut through. I guess there's no physical resistance, right? Oh yeah, Phoenix Guard do have physical resistance indeed, so yeah, those Centaurs of Tzeentch going to be particularly dangerous. Both units kind of just designed to kill each other, to be honest. Just what we love in Warhammer, right? Centaurs charging on in. Phoenix Guard bravely holding out. One more unit of bestigor did actually come in. I didn't really highlight them too much, but yeah, that unit doesn't do anything. But there's another unit here, I think, that came in. Yeah, this one here manages to get a kind of clean open field rear charge somewhat on these Phoenix Guard. This one might actually end up paying for itself in a clean engagement, but it's so rare that you actually get that. We'll focus here on this cycle charge with Centaurs on this main pocket of Elves, as this is obviously where a lot of the fight is going to be determined. Yeah, the Phoenix Guard do actually pull away from the bestigor, which is potentially going to give them opportunities to rear charge, and really bestigor, they kind of feel like they want to be a frontline unit, but honestly they're really more of a flanker type DPS unit, right? They really shouldn't necessarily be using the front line. That high charge you can see comes in here, going to do a lot of damage to the Lothern Sea Guard. Even then, though, with that charge bonus active, like, you would expect a little bit more out of them. But Prince here gets surrounded by Centaurs, multiple chariots, also armor-piercing damage on him, so he's having a bad time, takes a lot of burst damage very quickly. Blade of Bel Caradris trying to burst down some of these units. He does manage to terrify away some of the Centaurs, but the High Elves barely hanging on in terms of their leadership. Yeah, this unit of bestigor is actually working now. It's maybe going to be able to actually pay for itself, which is pretty rare, honestly. But, yeah. Let's see here. Two Phoenix Guard doing okay. Does look like the caster got, what, fully chased off, I would think? Yeah, oh no, she's back here. Book of Hoeth trying to recharge some of that Winds of Magic just for maybe, what, one more regrowth? Yep, on the Prince there, which makes a lot of sense. Centaur's going to charge in. Oof, those Phoenix Guard, a few remain, were braced as best they could be, but nonetheless going to take a lot of damage on that charge. Dragon tries to respond and is able to get some hits in there, but the Phoenix Guard, of course, the bane of halberds, is late game cycle charge, and they're certainly faced with a situation where yeah, the bestigor actually get in a nice unbraced charge, which opens them up for a full rear charge. Incredibly painful as the Centaurs move in to probably finish this off. That rear charge is quite brutal. There's not nearly enough Phoenix Guard models to sustain. Prince himself can only do so much, especially on a Sun Dragon. It's not a Star Dragon after all. Yep, those Phoenix Guard getting wiped to the last elf. Prince, once he starts to take some hits, immediately faces army losses. So a valiant defeat for Ryder Rohan and his Phoenix Guard, all doing a pretty decent job, getting close to paying for themselves for the most part. Yeah, the Lothern Sea Guard also a nice pick here, do a decent job. The Silver Helms definitely just had a bad time, as somewhat to be expected here. The Prince actually was decently cost-effective on the Sun Dragon. On the opposite side for Phoenix King's Beastmen, obviously the caster gets some great value. The Wargor also very cost-effective. Bestigor, I mean, one of them shows, this is what I would say would be more of a typical performance for Bestigor, but if you do use them in kind of more flanker role, kind of sweeping backline units, getting rear charges, this one actually does end up paying for itself. But honestly, Centaurs do the same thing, for around the same cost, or less if you take the non-AP ones. I mean, I guess Phoenix King had already filled his full quota of Centaurs, so these are basically just two more infantry armor-piercing Centaurs that are kind of crappy, but again, it's Centaurs should basically do the same job but better, and arguably, you know, if you want just raw armor piercing, you could probably take like Razorgore herds or chariots, or there's lots of armor piercing tools for Beastmen. So Bestigor have some competition, but definitely as a flanker type infantry, they show some promise. But the Centaurs of Tzeentch, of course, just absolutely nasty in this matchup, being able to cut down that high physical resistance and generally be a menace when microed properly. Yeah, they're definitely mean units. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.